Artisan. At the time, my brother owned a stained glass studio in Calgary, teaching classes on Tiffany lamps and similar projects. I never took his classes, but a window hanging in his studio caught my eye. I copied several patterns, brought them home, and my wife and I started making stained glass hangings on our kitchen table. I cut the coloured glass, she taped the pieces using the Tiffany method, and I soldered them together. Frogs, skiers, butterflies, apples, you name it. We added fishing line and suction cups to hang them on windows. After a week's work, I drove west into British Columbia, selling the hangings in gift shops. One day, I created a stained glass ski hill gondola with a short twisted wire as the cable. At Sulphur Mountain Ski Resort near Banff, the souvenir shop manager said he'd buy all 30 if they said Banff. I had planned to write it anyway, but brought my engraver along and plugged it in at the store. We made a living from stained glass, but as a cottage industry, growth was limited. Back to welding I went. In the 70s, I also made musical door chimes after work at the shipyards. Tuned to beautiful chords, they sold well until I got tired of building them. My wife and I took oil painting lessons too. I painted a seahorse I didn't like, turned the canvas upside down, painted a guitar over it with the seahorse peeking through, and displayed it in a gallery. Someone bought it. Enough to make me a professional artist. I tried metal art as well. My best pieces came during night shifts at a Caterpillar dealership. 2 crucifixes made from grouser bars, steel bulldozer treads, with a brazed stick figure Jesus. One went to my parents, the other to a Mexican fan while touring. Badlands. Not all of Alberta is farmland. Some land can't be farmed at all. Those places are called Badlands, home to roaming cattle and the occasional cowboy. The Badlands near Drumheller are famous for hoodoos and dinosaur bones. Other Badlands aren't suitable for crops because they're too hilly, but they grow plenty of grass for cattle. The hills near the mountains are called foothills, and that's cowboy country. Wild and woolly. I saw some odd things playing in cowboy bars and saloons in the foothills. In Turner Valley, I saw an old man sitting by himself, back to the wall, drinking whiskey like there was no tomorrow. 3 cowboys came in wearing dusters. One had a long tool. 2 held the old cowboy down, while the one with the tool, probably a blacksmith or farrier, reached in and pulled a molar. The old cowboy was in pain, but that's how it was done in the Old West, and apparently still in the 1980s. Cowboys weren't the type to go to doctors or dentists. Many still lived as if it were 1883. Some might not have had a social security number. Most were drifters, or maybe outlaws, with no home except cowboy bunkhouses. Light show. I purchased a used light show and set it as far from the stage as the wires allowed. I asked a local barfly to operate it. He said, "I don't know anything about a light show." I showed him the sliders. "Do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. They're just lights." He sat at a table near the entrance, and the lights changed colours all night. After the gig, he was sitting with a woman who apparently owned an escort service, plus 2 other women, and said,
"Doing this light show thingy sure attract the ladies."
Cowboys. We started playing rodeo dances and met cowboys who competed at the Calgary Stampede. To them, it was just another rodeo on the road. They also rode horses, bulls, and chuck wagons at small-town professional rodeos and drank in the same bars we played. Most were loners, bachelors living on the road with horses in trailers. I used to have a red cowboy hat with a whistle in England. I watched Saturday matinee cliffhangers and pretended to be Roy Rogers or Hopalong Cassidy. Cap guns and holsters were my toys. Now I was rubbing elbows with real range and rodeo cowboys, living the dream. We were invited to brand cattle and cook bull testicles, prairie oysters. Longview Hotel. The Longview Hotel was my favourite place to play. The audience was never the same twice. Cowboys, bow hunters in early fall, elk hunters, pub crawlers, Calgary Flames players, chuck wagon drivers, you name it. Once an Australian cowboy rancher visited with his whip and demonstrated his skills on the dance floor. We played the Longview Bar long enough for 3 different owners to come and go. The current owner told me he once hired Ian Tyson for $3,000. Ian attracted mostly school teachers who drank free coffee, which made the bar lose money. We also played many of Ian's cowboy tunes. Clint Eastwood. Near the Longview Hotel is the Blue Sky Motel. Occasionally, we'd have supper there after Saturday matinees. One day, Rudy, the owner, asked if we wanted to have dinner with Clint Eastwood, as Unforgiven was filming nearby. Wednesday evening. We declined. Full-time jobs came first. Celebrities never did much for me. I met Adam West once at a Calgary car show. No Batman costume, just a man. I said, "Hello, Mr. West. How are you?" He smiled, shook my hand, and that was it. Clint Eastwood was just another working man, and I didn't want him to outplay me on the piano. Politics. We were asked to play for political occasions. Sheldon Schumer, an NDP MLA, regularly hired Buckwheat and Honey. Once, the Cattlemen's Association hired us, but it turned out to be a Liberal Party rally. Calgary was conservative country, and I was deliberately deceived. But the money was good. We also played for the Calgary Horse Association, full of the very rich who bred top racehorses. We were a novelty. No one danced to our crude country music.
Songwriting contest. The city of Calgary announced a songwriting contest. I discussed it with my wife, who excelled at lyrics. I composed the music, envisioning a brass band marching in the Stampede Parade. Out of 998 entries worldwide, our song made the top 10.
East of the Rocky Mountains, where the gentle foothills roll, where the icy blue-green water of the rugged boulders flow, 'neath the great expanse of a prairie sky, my heart will always be in my little bit of heaven. It's my home, it's Calgary.
We played it at the Calgary Stampede, driving our motorhome right through the gates. Entered under my wife's name, she received a diploma from Mayor Ralph Klein and a small portable stereo. The winners were 2 Vancouver guys with a slow ballad that was soon forgotten.
Ice rink. A call came requesting us for a baseball windup. I quoted $600 for 2 nights, and they booked us. 3 months later, we arrived at an old country ice rink arena. Summer, no ice, dirt floor. Teenagers danced and kicked up dust as we played and sang our tunes. Next day, same arena, same dust. Someone suggested wetting the floor. I imagined mud everywhere and declined. At the end of the 2-night gig, my wife picked up the check, $1,200. She wanted to return it and have them issue $600, but I remembered what the president of the Thunder Bay Musicians Union once told me. Take the money and run. Side effect of fear. When I was 6, I had recurring nightmares that somehow taught my mind to manage and control fear. As I grew older, I learned to use the side effect of fear, adrenaline, to my advantage. Now, I can write in the present because nothing has changed. A switch flips in my brain at the slightest trigger, a loud bang, someone shouting, or sudden movement. When startled, a huge dose of adrenaline courses through my body, my reflexes speed up, and I feel no pain until the rush wears off. If you've ever had an adrenaline rush, it might seem that time slows down, but in reality, your body speeds up. Don't worry, be happy. Worrying has never been an issue for me. Maybe that's why I don't have wrinkles and still have a full head of hair. Anxiety attacks. Never. Living in reality has always been a challenge, and I like challenges. Not drugs. Never needed them. Cannabis, once in the 70s, made me paranoid, thanks karate awareness training. So I didn't continue. Alcohol was just a tool, never a pleasure. Once our semi-professional music career ended, so did my drinking.